पद्मरागोल्लसन्मेखलाभास्वरश्रोणिशोभाजितस्वर्णभूभृत्तले चन्द्रिका शीतले विकसितनवकिंशुकाताम्रदिव्यां शुकच्छन्न चारुरुशोभा पराभूतसिन्धूरशोणायमानेन्द्रमातङ्गहस्तार्गले वैभवानर्कले श्यामले कोमलस्निग्धनीलोत्पलोत्पादितानङ्गतूणीरशङ्काकरोदारजङ्घालते चारुलीलागते नम्रदिक्पालसीमन्तिनी कुन्तलस्निग्धनीलप्रभापुञ्जसञ्जात दूर्वाङ्कुराशङ्कसारङ्कसंयोगरिङ्खन्नखेन्दुज्ज्वले प्रोज्ज्वले निर्मले प्रह्वदेवेश लक्ष्मीश भूतेश तोयेश वाणीश कीनाश दैत्येश यक्षेश वागीश कोणेश वाय्वग्निकोटिरमाणिक्यसङ्घष्ट बालातपोद्दामलाक्षारसारुण्य लक्ष्मी गृहीताङ्घ्रिपद्मे सुपद्मे भूमे सुरुचिरनवरत्नपीठस्थिते सुस्थिते रत्नपद्मासने रत्नसिंहासने शङ्खपद्मद्वयोपाश्रिते विश्रुते तत्र विघ्नेश दुर्गा वटुक्षेत्रपालैर्युते मत्तमातङ्गकन्या समूहान्विते मञ्जुला मेनकाद्यङ्गनामानिते भैरवैरष्टभिर्वेष्टिते देवी वामादिभिः शक्तिभिः सेविते धात्रीलक्ष्म्यादिशक्त्यष्टकैः संयुते मातृकामण्डलैर्मण्डल यक्षगन्धर्वसिद्धाङ्गनामण्डलैरर्चिते पञ्चवाकिङ्करी तस्य चाज्ञाकरी श्री स्वयं सर्वात्मिके सर्वमन्त्रात्मिके सर्वतन्त्रात्मिके सर्वयन्त्रात्मिके सर्वपीठात्मिके सर्वतत्त्वात्मिके सर्वशक्त्यात्मिके सर्वविद्यात्मिके सर्वयोगात्मिके सर्वनादात्मिके सर्वशब्दात्मिके सर्वविश्वात्मिके सर्ववर्णात्मिके सर्वगे
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, connectivity is very bad today. It's continuously tripping and coming back again. Let us see how it goes. Yeah, let us pray to God. It should continue. So first of all, wish everyone a Shubha Navaratri. Let us pray to the Lord, Goddess, before continuing our Sadhana Panchakam. Wanted to give a Vedantic meaning of Navaratri. So Swami Chinmayananda nicely has explained how Navaratri and Vedanta are so meaningful and connected. The first 3 days, so Navaratri basically is worshipping Durga, then Mahalakshmi, and then Saraswati. So the logic is first 3 days it is Durga or Parvati, and then 3 days is going to be Mahalakshmi, and then 3 days is going to be Ma Saraswati. And this is very similar to what we also learned in the Bhagavad Gita summary, dosha apanayanam, guna adhanam. Removal of dosha and acquiring all the gunas. So the first 3 days we pray to Goddess Parvati, Durga, that let her help us to remove अंदर का जितना भी मन का मैल है, कचरा है, it should be removed out. And when we say it should be removed out, we are talking of our Shadripus, which are Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Madam, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, Sambhavitanam, Samapatakanam. Let it all go. Let me acquire purity. So the first 3 days are praying for getting purity. Then the next 3 days is Mahalakshmi. What does Mahalakshmi give us? Prosperity. And what is prosperity coming through? Aishwarya. What is Aishwarya coming from? Various things, what you earn and what you enjoy. And what are we asking to earn here? That Mahalakshmi should give us. She should give us all the good qualities of whatever mentioned in 13th chapter. Ahimsa satyamah krodha tyagashyantirapayishunam daya bhuteshvaloluptvam mardavam hrirachapalam. Okay, so give us a good mind, a clean mind, pure mind. Give us the pure love. Give us all the things by which I will be able to do Chitta Nischalata. My mind will be focused, and Chitta Vishalata, by which I will start accepting everyone and everything in this universe. So the first one is praying to Goddess Parvati to remove all the dosha. The second 3 days are now give us various gunas and manaha to be focused. Focused on what? On that Bhagavat Kripa, on that Ishvara, on that Tattva, and I should have that instilled faith in it. Then we pray the last 3 days to Goddess Saraswati. And what do we pray to Goddess Saraswati? Give us a good Guru. Let that Guru teach us Atma Jnanam, the foremost of all the Jnanam. Let me understand it properly. If there are any doubts, I should clarify it by Mananam, Shravanam, Mananam. And I have to remove all the habits what I have by becoming sensitive to it by Nididhyasana. So the first 3 days praying to Goddess Durga for Karma Yoga. By Karma Yoga, Chitta Shuddhi comes. All the Asuya goes off. Health is good. Mind is sound. Then with that sound mind and health, we pray to Goddess Lakshmi to give us more into Upasana. Chitta Vishalata, Chitta Naishchalyata. And with the 6 days, we earn Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. And the focus is, I need that Jnanam, Atma Jnanam and nothing else. And we pray to Goddess Saraswati to give us a Guru who will teach us this Shastra, Moksha Shastra, and clarify all our doubts in the mind, completely change, do a blood transfusion in us, completely change our mind fully into that Ishvara Tattva, that Brahma Tattva. And I will also practice, put a lot of effort in terms of removing my old habits. And after 9 days, on the 10th day, it is Vijaya Dashami. Vijaya Dashami is Jnana Nishtha. I have come to that state of understanding, that true knowledge in the complete true sense, where I now 100% have won over one thing in me, which is my Ahankara. Ahankara in the form of Ravana is killed, and Jnanam in the form of Rama is established. That is Vijaya Dashami. It is a Vijaya. Okay. So Vedantic perspective of this Navaratri and Vijaya Dashami is completely first 3 days Prathama Shatkam of Bhagavad Gita, the second 3 days Madhyama Shatkam of Bhagavad Gita, correct? The last 3 days Charama Shatkam of Bhagavad Gita, and finally on Vijaya Dashami day you are proclaiming yourself that my Ahankara, Ahami Nashabha, my Ahankara is completely dissolved, and Brahmaiva Ekam Satyam Tat Advitiyam Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Okay, such a beautiful way to look at Navaratri for spiritual integration, spiritual growth, and completely connecting myself with this Advaita Vedanta Jnana. Is it clear? Good. For that again we need the 3 Devis to help us, who gives us Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. So I should have that Ichha, I should put that effort, I should go and do maximum what I can, and then leave it to the God to give me that Jnana Shakti. And finally with that Jnana Paripakvata, I become completely Mukta, liberated in this Janma, here and now. Okay? Sure. With this, we will start our Sadhana Panchakam. Okay. Let us repeat Sadhana Panchakam. Vedo nityam tadruditam karma swanushtiyatam. Vedo nityam taduditam karma swanushtiyatam. Teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitih kamye matistyajyatam. Teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitih kamye matistyajyatam. Papaugah paridhuyatam bhavasukhe dosho nusandiyatam. Papaugah paridhuyatam bhavasukhe dosho nusandiyatam. Atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam. Atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam. Sangasatsu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktirdridadhiyatam. Sangasatsu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktirdridadhiyatam. Shantyadih parichiyatam dridataram karmashu santyajyatam. Shantyadih parichiyatam dridataram karmashu santyajyatam. Sadvidvanupasripyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam. Sadvidvanupasripyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam. ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यतां श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यतां श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम् वाक्यार्थश्च विचार्यतां श्रुतिशिरः पक्षः समाश्रीयताम् वाक्यार्थश्च विचार्यतां श्रुतिशिरः पक्षः समाश्रीयताम् दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यतां श्रुतिमतस्तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम् दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यतां श्रुतिशिरस्तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम् ब्रह्मास्मीति विभाव्यतामहरहर्गर्वः परित्यज्यताम् ब्रह्मास्मीति विभाव्यतामहरहर्गर्वः परित्यज्यताम् देहेऽहमिति रुज्यताम् बुधजनैर्वादः परित्यज्यताम् देहेऽहमिति रुज्यताम् बुधजनैर्वादः परित्यज्यताम् क्षुद्व्याधिश्च चिकीत्स्यतां प्रतिदिनं भिक्षौषधं भुज्यताम् क्षुद्व्याधिश्च चिकित्स्यतां प्रतिदिनं भिक्षौषधं भुज्यताम् स्वाद्वन्नन्न तु याच्यतां विधिवशात् प्राप्तेन सन्तुष्यताम् स्वाद्वन्नन्न तु याच्यतां विधिवशात् प्राप्तेन सन्तुष्यताम् शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतान्न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतान्न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपानैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपानैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम् एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयताम् एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयताम् पूर्णात्मासु समीक्ष्यतां जगदिदं तद्व्यादितं दृश्यताम् पूर्णात्मासु समीक्ष्यतां जगदिदं तद्व्यादितं दृश्यताम् प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान्नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान्नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह भुज्यतामथ परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह भुज्यतामथ परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम्. Okay. So this particular Sadhana Panchakam, I will strongly recommend that one should by heart this. Just 5 shlokas, not very difficult. So by the end of the year, let us have a target. On the first day of Navratri, let us make a sankalpa. By the end of this year, December 31st, 2020, we will by heart this Sadhana Panchakam. Why by heart? Only when you by heart it, only when the words are in your mind, you will be reminded throughout your life what are the sadhanas we have to do. If you have to refer the book and then think of the sadhana, forget it. It is gone off. Out of sight means out of mind. So the moment you by heart it, it is in sight, it is on sight, so it is in mind. Okay. So for your own benefit, learn to by heart it, and the easiest way I will tell you to by heart it. Easiest way. Every day once, just tell. Nothing more than that is required. One day, once a time, every day you have to tell. It will not take more than 5 minutes. Okay. I will also record it and send, so that whenever you want, you can just listen with it. It will not be a learning one, it will be a continuous one. So you can keep seeing and listening. And after 10 days, these words will start coming in your mouth. But then it is necessary to remember it, and only when you remember it, you will be able to think about it and practice it. And this is for something practicing. That is why it is called Sadhana Panchakam. It is not just Aham Brahmasmi Jnanam. No. You have to do here. You have to put effort here. Okay, you have to put effort very clearly. If you don't put effort, it won't come. So we all have to put effort, for which we have to know what we have to do. Right? Chal. With this, we will continue. Last time, where did I stop it? I'm not sure. I think it was on Ashrama.
Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma.
Correct.
Vishesha Dharma.
So, in Vishesha Dharma, we said that you have the Varna Ashrama. And in Samanya Dharma, we said you have your Yama Niyamas, etc. So that everyone have to follow the Samanya Dharma, irrespective of caste, irrespective of religion, irrespective of geography, irrespective of gender. All have to follow the Samanya Dharma, which is Yama and Niyama. Yama are Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigraha, Brahmacharya, and Niyama are Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaswadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. Apart from this, you can also take whatever is mentioned in the 13th chapter, whatever is mentioned in the 16th chapter, whatever is mentioned in the 18th chapter. Take all that, which are called general social norms, general personal value building exercises. Anything which fits into that, perfectly okay. Take it. Right? Then we have our own specific dharma, which is called Swadharma. And this Swadharma has two axes, which I said. The infrastructure based on which the whole Vedic culture is on available is the Varna and the Ashrama, Vyavastha. We know clearly what the Varna Vyavastha is. I think we have seen it in detail. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Okay. And they are duties in the world outside, duties in the society, by which I will make my gross mind mature and subtle. And by doing that duty, once my mind becomes subtle, I will slowly find Vairagya to do that duty. And still I will continue to do it as an Ishvara Arpana in my mind. So my Raga Dvesha will not come, and slowly by continuing my Varna Dharma, I will mature my mind. Now on the other hand, the other axis is Ashrama Dharma. So being in that Varna, based on my age, based on my mental maturity, I have various dharmas within that ashrama. I have various ashrama dharmas within the same varna. For example, a brahmana is a brahmachari brahmana, a grihastha brahmana, a vanaprastha brahmana, a sannyasa brahmana. Correct? Then you have a brahmachari who is a kshatriya grihastha, a kshatriya vanaprastha. Correct? Then you have Vaishya Brahmachari, Vaishya Grihastha, and you have Shudra Grihastha. Hopefully you have understood what I am saying. Are you all clear? And if you have understood, then I have a question. Did I tell uniformly about everyone the same?
No.
So that question needs to come why. So a
Sannyasa is only for Brahmins. That one.
Brahmana alone has been ordained with 4 ashramas. Okay. Even if you go through Manusmriti, it clearly mentions Brahmana has got 4 ashrama, and that is why in many places a sannyasi is always, instead of a sannyasi, they also used in the words of Upanishad, they use the word Brahmana. Because only a Brahmana is allowed to become sannyasa. Okay, that was how that system was. Why? For getting into sannyasa, you need to purify yourself mentally in a big way. And that happens through swadharma of a Brahmana. Why you will ask me, Are, how is this? Aren't you all being partial? Why do you feel that only a Brahmana can do that? We'll get into that. But before that, what is allowed by a Kshatriya? A Kshatriya can get into Brahmacharya ashrama, get into Grihastha ashrama, get into Vanaprastha ashrama. What about a Vaishya? He can get into Brahmacharya ashrama, he can get into Grihastha ashrama. Very rarely you will see any of these people getting into Vanaprastha ashrama. And Shudra, they have only Grihastha ashrama. Why no Brahmacharya ashrama? He doesn't go to learn anything, right? So he has got certain duties post marriage and he has to perform those. Till that, he will be, apart from his own dharma of his family, taking care of the family, he has to serve the rest 3. That is his job in the society. Why Brahmana can only become a sannyasi? See, understand one thing. The other 3 ashramas are purely for Chitta Shuddhi. Do you agree? The other 3 ashramas are for Chitta Shuddhi. Sannyasa ashrama alone is the ashrama for Jnanam. Correct? So, who have got the eligibility to go to Jnanam? Who can become Paripakva in Chitta Shuddhi? Correct? Why only a Brahmana can become Paripakva in Chitta Shuddhi if he does his Swadharma? Understand that clearly? It is not by birth or it is not by guna. He has to ensure that he does his Swadharma. And what is the dharma of a Brahmana? Yajanam, Yajanam, Danam, Pratigrahanam. Okay, and one more is there. Danam, Pratigrahanam, Yajanam, Yachanam. That means to teach, to learn, to teach. Throughout his life, he has to learn and teach. He has to perform yajna for himself and he has to perform the rituals for others as an acharya, not as a yajamana. He has to perform rituals for others. Correct? So he has to learn, teach. He has to perform rituals. He has to for himself and he has to perform rituals for others. Correct? Shiksha Shikshanam, Yajanam Yachanam, Danam Pratigrahanam. Correct. And the third one is, he can give Danam and he can accept Danam. So 6 jobs he has got very clearly. Anything which is around these 6, he is allowed to do it. He can learn, he can teach. He can perform yajna for himself and he can perform yajna for others. Matlab kara ke dena. He can be an acharya for a yajamana. He can give danam and he has to accept danam. Now these are not can. It's a must. All the 6 are a must. He has to learn. He has to teach. He has to perform for himself. He has to perform for others. He has to give danam. He has to accept danam. Now, when it comes to teaching, he cannot teach for getting anything in return. He cannot teach for getting anything in return. Very clearly. And at the same time, it is bound upon all the others who are learning that they cannot learn freely. See how it gets complemented. That means once you put a rule, and if both follow the rule, it is self-sustaining. That means whatever a Brahmana requires will be assured that the rest of the society will take care of it for his subsistence. For his living, that will be taken care. So every student, what they give is not important. How much they give is not important. Whatever possible, they will give. But without including a Brahmana student, will have to YouTube start. Close the door. Okay. When we say that he has to teach and he has to also accept Dhanam, the same thing is true for a Brahmin boy who has to learn and who has to give Dhanam. Are you able to get that? Any person not giving a Dhanam who is a Brahmana is not at all accepted as a Brahmana. Any person not ready to accept Dhanam is also not a Brahmana. Okay? And if he accepts Dhanam, what is Dhanam? What is given out of choice? Not after on demand. You cannot say, no, मेरा घर का कॉट जरा खराब हो गया है, खटिया एक बना के दे दो, ये आपका गुरु दक्षिणा है. नो. खटिया खराब है तो नीचे सो जाओ. नो खटिया, प्रारब्धम में नहीं है. Matter ends. That means you cannot have place for R&D. You know what is R&D? It's a new word in our Vedanta. You all know it, but I have given it a new name, R&D. It's easy. No place for R&D. Raga Dvesha. No place for one's own Raga and Dvesha. है तो God's grace, नहीं है, it is for my good. नहीं है तो it is for my good. Thank you God. Why? Because you are taking me to the right path of without Raga Dvesha towards moksha. Then only Vairagya will come. Are you able to get this? So when a person completes the karma yoga, upasana, then only can go to sannyasa. So by the swadharma of a Brahmana, this is possible very much. And hence, he becomes eligible to go to sannyasa. Compare to that when you look at a Kshatriya. Surely a Kshatriya boy will learn. So there is a Brahmacharya ashrama. He will marry. He has his duties as a Grihastha. That will be there. Then he has to also give up the Rajya and go to the Vana. If you would have seen our Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these people have left and gone to the jungle. That is called Vanaprastha. Go, leave and go. You have been taught to leave and go. Don't cling over it. Okay, Vanaprastha. For a Kshatriya, what are the duties? Why not go back to our Bhagavad Gita? Open the 18th chapter. Let us see the duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. 18th chapter.
After Shloka 40.
ब्राह्मण 41 ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय विशाम शूद्राणांच परंतप कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभाव प्रभवैर्गुणैः. Now brahmanas karma shamo dama tapa shaucham. Shamaha damaha tapaha shaucham. Kshantihi arjavam evacha. Now we understand Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti is straight away coming in this job now. He has to have sense control, sense mastery, your mind mastery, shaucham cleanliness, kshanti patience, arjavam rujubhava. He cannot negate anyone. He cannot exclude anyone from his scope. Everyone, he has to include everyone. He cannot say, no, I can't see this person, I will not, no, not acceptable at all. Rijubhava, correct? Arjava. Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam. Jnanam is Karma Kanda. Vijnanam is Moksha Shastra. Astikyam is complete Shraddha on the Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu. Correct? Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. It is natural for him. Think about it. That means Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti gets completely paripakva. Are you able to understand this? And hence can go to sannyasa ashrama. Very logical or not? If you are falling in this category by Guna Brahmana, you can very well go to sannyasa ashrama. So anyone who is by Guna like this and continuing the Swadharma completely like this can go to sannyasa ashrama. Because now you are eligible. Then go to the next one. Shauryam tejo dhritir dakshyam yuddhe chapyapalayanam danamishwara bhavascha kshatram karma swabhavajam. Very clear. Shauryam, courage. Tejaha, brilliance. Correct? Dhritihi, firmness. Dakshyam, forgiveness. Yuddhecha api apalayanam. What is Yuddhecha api apalayanam? You know who is Uttar Kumar? Who is Uttar Kumar?
Virat Putra.
Uttara's brother, Uttar Kumar. Charu just muted. Yeah. Uttar Kumar, during their Ajñatavasa, 13th year, when they had to fight, Arjuna was standing. Arjuna was the charioteer. Correct? Like Shikhandi he went. And behind, Uttar Kumar was there. When the fight started, he ran and came back. That is called Yuddhecha Palayanam. Run away from the battlefield. Here it is said Apalayanam. Whatever the situation is, be ready to become a martyr, but don't run away from the battlefield. So when a person is like this, tell me, this person's desires are stronger than the Brahmana or weaker than the Brahmana?
Stronger.
Raga is stronger or Dvesha is stronger?
Raga.
No.
No,
Dvesha.
Dvesha.
Security, to protect. Whatever is there, I should not lose it. Some amount of Raga is there, but Dvesha has to be very strong. That means I will not allow my people and the kingdom to suffer. So, a Kshatriya Swabhava will have more Raga Dvesha than a Brahmana. That is why no sannyasa for him. If he does his Swadharma properly in this Janma, next Janma he will get a Brahmana. You understand? It is slow upgradation and people accept it. When you say year after year, I will go and complete one day 10th standard, now I am in first standard. You have already seen now after 10 years I will complete 10 years. That means you have mentally agreed that every year you will complete one class and go. Like that, this is called 4 Janma program. 4J program. Janma 1 Shudra. I do my work properly. That means Janma 2 I will get Vaishya. I do my work properly. Then I will get Kshatriya. Then I will get Brahmana. So enough time is there. Go slow upgradation. Let that mind get purified more and more. That means I will not compete with anyone or feel inferior that why I am not given, why I am devoid of it. Absolutely no. No place for Ahankara. Are we able to get this concept? The biggest problem inside all of us today is, why am I excluded? Why am I deprived of something? Or it is not for you. Simple. Just accept it, it's not for you. You are not made up for it today. Then how will I get it? Pray for it, next time you will get it. Work for it, next time you will get it. Simple. That is how that karma theory you have to accept. If you don't accept the karma theory, this will not be there. You will keep fighting it. And the more you will fight it, you will not do swadharma. The more your raga dvesha will come out. The more raga dvesha comes, patanam starts. So we are not saying that just give up everything and just without buddhi. No, you use your buddhi properly and say that it is for my good only. अभी खाना नहीं खा सकता है, अभी सिर्फ दही भात खा सकता है क्योंकि my stomach is weak. That is what the doctor says. Then I better have only dahi bhat. By that what will happen? My stomach will become stronger and after 2 days I can have something else. No, why is the doctor keeping me only away? Others, everyone are having, let me also have it. Okay, have it. Then sit in the toilet only permanently. Veda is not going to stop anyone doing what you want. Huh? Veda says here is a scheme. It is for you to take it and make best out of it. If you don't, I can also tell you what is going to be the outcome. Be prepared for it. Correct? Because Vedas has got everything for everyone. It is up to you now. Whether you want, you take it. Right. Then from there going to the third one. Krishi Gaurakshya Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. Simple. Krishi, Gorakshanam, Vanijyam. 3 things. These are examples given. So anything related to business, anything related to farming, anything related to taking care of cattle field, any of those things, perfectly. Now what happens in this? When this person is doing it, his raga is more or dvesha is more?
Raga, acquire more.
Raga is more.
Raga.
I want to acquire more. And I want to acquire. I and my family. See, a Brahmana is not thinking about his family also. A Kshatriya says that I will ensure that everyone are taken care along with my family. A Vaishya says that I am interested only me and my family. उसके बाद मिला तो बाकी लोगों को मैं दान करेगा, धर्म करेगा, जो भी है. And typically when you look at many of these so-called business people and so-called the Vaishya Guna people, you will see as they grow old, they start doing more dhanam. बेटे को बोलेगा अरे नहीं उधर एक कुआं बना के दे दो, इधर एक पार्क के लिए पैसा दे दो, उधर एक ये करके दे दो, मंदिर ठीक करने के लिए पैसा दे दो. Correct? They will not leave the family and move. Think about it. A Kshatriya will be ready to leave the family and go out. Let me be in the outhouse. Brahmana will leave the family, everyone, and go to the ashrama as sannyasa. Kshatriya will go to the outhouse. We saw in this thing, Upanishad Ganga, how Dhritarashtra wanted after the war, he wanted to go to Vanaprastha. Correct? So I will go to Vanaprastha, I am ready to leave the family, be a little away. But a Vaishya will not do that. He will be at home. He may do some japa and all, but he will say, okay, I will do more dan. Dan karega, punya karega. Do you understand? See how that mental makeup is different, completely different. That means I cannot leave a setup. A Kshatriya will be ready to leave a setup and create a new setup. A Brahmana will not bother about the setup. Are we able to get this different? These are subtle differences. Because when we know that, then only we understand what is this character called a Brahmana, character called a Kshatriya, character called a Vaishya. It is not by birth or not by, it is by gunas. Right? And what is the fourth one? The second line of that shloka, Paricharyatmakam Shudra Karma Swabhavajam. What is Paricharyatmakam? Serving the rest three is the Shudra's job. That means if you actually look at it, if a Shudra does his job perfectly, you know he is a Jnani. Then he is actually a Jnani without Jnanam. Think about it. Why? If I have to do service to someone without my will, that means am I not killing my own ahankara? Think about it. The only thing is he doesn't have that jnanam. He is ignorantly doing it if he is doing it. And he has to be very happy while doing it. गाते गाते भगवान का नाम लेते जो भी मन में आए बोलते, he should enjoy it and keep serving. That I am serving the God. That's all. Shudra karma swabhavaja. Are we able to get this concept of that Varna system so beautifully which is designed, and then each of you can go to a particular level to serve the society, and while serving the society we can mature our mind from karma to karma yoga by reducing R&D and thereby getting chitta vishalata and chitta naischalyata. Then Jnana Yoga is open for us. Are we able to get this concept clearly in the Varna Vyavastha? Correct? And Ashrama Vyavastha, both. See, we have now combined both. Varna and Ashrama have got combined properly. And in this infrastructure, everyone were there. A Kshatriya had to give Dhanam, a Vaishya had to give Dhanam. Correct? But a Kshatriya and a Vaishya cannot accept Dhanam. No. When you say accept Dhanam, I am talking in terms of when you are doing a karma or a puja, that time giving a Dhanama. Because this word Dhanam can also have a different meaning when it comes to Kanya Dhanam. In a marriage, if you say they can't accept, फिर गया शादी नहीं करेगा कोई. No. Don't mistake it. Dhanam pratigrahanam is very clearly when there is a function happening, a yajna or a karma happening, there as a third person accepting dhanam. Okay. Another very, very important concept of our system was never take anything freely. Think about it. So, without giving this particular concept clearly to people, but all the activities and all the way things have been working in our culture is, you will never want to accept anything free. It's a very simple thing. When you go to a temple, what do you take and go? Do you take something and go? When you go to meet elders, do you go empty-handed? Why? Why? It's been told, so we are doing it. It's been told, right?
You're taking blessing from them, so that's never to be taken free.
Exactly. So you have to give back something. So it is expected when you go and meet them, when you do namaskar, they are going to bless you. And when they bless you, you are going to be a recipient of something and you can't accept it free. So you give it in advance. That is why you go, that old grandmother cannot eat anything, but still you will take things which she will like. So more blessings you will get. समझ में आ रहा है? So showing a carrot, I have bought this, so give me good blessings. No, I am saying it is ingrained in our system. Same way, when someone comes to your house, you invite them, शादी के लिए बुलाया. Do they come empty-handed? Why? Because they are going to eat and go, they are going to accept something from you, they have to give something back. What they give is not important. The attitude that I should not accept anything freely is ingrained into it. Navratri starts today. Someone comes, return gift. है कि नहीं? कुछ नहीं, छोटा सा जो भी है, आए, you put an effort, come here, you have to go with something, take and go. So gift is a very integral part of our system and we value it a lot. नहीं नहीं, कोई आए तो कुछ नहीं तो एक चॉकलेट देगा, something you will give. Doesn't matter what you give. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. That is what it means. That attitude that it is not free and I have to give back. Hence Dhanam is a very very deeply ingrained in our system. कुछ भी रहेगा तो दान करो भाई, दान करो. And people used to genuinely give दान. Not अभी क्या है, 1 रुपया रखेगा, बोलेगा इसमें पानी डालो, वापस वही 1 रुपया रख के वापस पानी डालो, वापस ऐसा 10 दान देने के बाद रख देने का नीचे. It used to not be that way. No. वो टाइम पे जो देना है वो देना ही है, खत्म. There is nothing carry forward. If you have to give 10 दान्स in a particular पूजा, एक एक में वो दे के खत्म करो. अभी क्या रहता है, 1 रुपया रखेंगे या 10 रुपये का नोट रखेंगे, चालू रहेगा, that will be recycled. And लास्ट में by NEFT और GPay, tuck, one amount will get transferred. No. Every time it has to be given. Okay. There used to be something called krichram. Even now it is there. Huh? These are, see, some of these technical terms, when you know, then you understand what is the reason why all these were there. Even today when you go to certain pujas, there is something called as krichra danam has to be given. Krichra pratinidhi. There has to be a recipient of krichra. You know what is a krichra? If I have not done a particular karma.
Is Drusha?
No. Krichra. If I have not done a particular karma, if I have omitted it, I have to pay a penalty for it. And that penalty has got a value. See, it is like this. For example, I am just giving you an example. I am supposed to chant every day 100 times Gayatri. Supposed to chant. And I did not chant. Then there is a prayashchitta. That prayashchitta may say that you have to chant for next 1 month 1008 every day. I am just giving an example. Nothing true. Suppose you say no, I can't do that. Then they will say, okay, equivalent to that 1008, you have to pay. That means you have to feel the pinch. That much value has to come out of you that you feel the pinch of it, because then only you will value that what you have missed out is valuable. Huh? Are we able to get that? It's like, you know what is it? क्या होगा? Let me break the signal. क्या होगा? 200 रुपया तो मामा फाड़ेगा. समझ में आ रहा है? Now that 200 rupees, if it is no value, you will straight away go. But suppose tomorrow it happens that the rule changes because you break a signal, and if there is a potential accident, and that potential accident can cause a damage to a vehicle and a person, and that value of it is going to be 2 lakhs of rupees, tell me who will break the signal? Will anyone think of breaking the signal? That is how that value was made. कि भाई तुम ये नहीं किया तो तुमको इतना भरपाई करना पड़ेगा. It's a penalty. So Krichra used to be there in every puja. ये नहीं किया, ये नहीं किया, ये नहीं किया, उसके लिए इतना पैसा दो. When that money goes ना, that time इधर अक्कल ठिकाने में आएगा कि next time नहीं यार, ये तो बहुत भारी गिर गया, I better do this. I better do it. नहीं तो लेने के देने पड़ जाएंगे मेरे. And people used to do it then. So penalties were to bring you back into the discipline. Okay. So you had dana, you had dakshina, and you had krichra. Dana is given as gift. Dakshina is given as payment for a service what you have received. And someone who is accepting a dana also, you give a dakshina. Why? Yes, person has agreed to accept your dana, for that you give a dakshina. कोई freely आके लेगा क्या? Because with every dana of yours, don't forget adrishtam also you are passing, and that person is accepting it. Okay, so that balance sheet was always maintained. That value of adrishtam balance sheet was very beautifully maintained. आज adrishtam है ही नहीं, everything is drishtam. So there is no chance for it. Because whatever is visible is only there, right? That means a person who has got millions of crores, he is God now. Because drishtam you are able to see it. If he is a bhikari, how much our values he had, doesn't matter. No meaning. We have changed. The world has changed. But then earlier it was a different. But what we are saying is, we have to know that way of life, then only the whole Sadhana Panchakam is meaningful. Again, the idea is that even if you wish to go back to that life, you cannot. That infrastructure is not there, you cannot go back. Patri nahi to railgadi nahi chalega udhar. Because Varnashrama is broken, so that will not work. Then what do we do? For which Pancha Mahayajnas have been clearly given. Because you cannot follow that, let us do Pancha Mahayajna. Okay. Now coming to samskaras, 41 samskaras have to be done by a Brahmana. And this was purificatory process. Karma Kanda talks of 41 samskaras. Okay. These are nearly 20 samskaras which are going to be there, which everyone would do it, and another 21 samskaras which are related to yajna. And it starts with Garbhadana, Pumsavana, Simantonnayana, Jatakarma, Namakarana, before Annaprashana, this Nishkramana, Annaprashana, Chaula, Upanayana, Samavartana, Vivaha. Okay, all this. And believe in all this, these are called as Shrauta Karmas. Means what? Shruti has told to do these karmas. Apart from this, you have got Smarta Karma. What is Smarta Karma? Shrutis, we learn certain karmas and we do it. For example, घर पे गणपति रखना, नवरात्रि का पूजा, एकादशी का व्रत, ये सब श्रौत कर्मा नहीं है, स्मार्त कर्मा है. षष्ठी, सहस्र चंद्र दर्शन, स्मार्त कर्मा, not श्रौत कर्मा. Doesn't come under those category at all. Getting it? So people had these karmas that they had to do it. And again, eligibility of certain people only who can do certain karmas even with that varna. For example, If a person is a brahmachari, can he do putrakameshti yajna? Correct? Off, out. Same way, if you are a brahmana, can you do ashwamedha yajna? No. That is only a job of a kshatriya. Only a kshatriya can do an ashwamedha yajna. You cannot say, no, I am a brahmin, I have been given a superior this. No, sorry. You can conduct it for him, but you cannot be the yajamana for that particular thing. Are we able to get that? So within this, the framework was perfectly right. And this person had to maintain the fire at home. As I mentioned, Treta Agni was there. Ahavaniya, Garhapatya. How many people remember having seen these three Agnis? Raise your hand at least. Somewhere in Upanishad Ganga we have seen in between, correct? That Treta Agnis, each of them maintained. The wife has a particular role to do. Every day you have to do morning and evening Agni Aupasana. Upasana comes from the word called Upasana. Agni Aupasana. And it has got only two mantras. Surya Yaswaha, Agnaye Swaha. That's all. But you have to take it from your wife and then you have to do it. That means people whose wives are not there are not eligible to do it. That means Vanaprastha. So Vanaprastha need not maintain the Agni. They have only minimal Agni to maintain. If you are a Grihastha, all the three Agnis you have to maintain. See, slowly how much it has got. Now look at Karma Kanda, how it has got expanded. Kahan se chalu kiya tha? Now when you understand it, see, bada hote gaya. And when you come to Yajnas, a person has to do at least once the 21 Yajnas. 7 Paka Yajnas, 7 Havir Yajnas, 7 Soma Yajnas. Once in a lifetime you have to do it. Each person. And each of them is like a marriage. Matlab, you have to call, you have to see, if you are any karma or a yajna has to be done, you need 5 things. It's called Pangtam. A Pangtam is required. What is a Pangtam? 5 things which are required. If any one of these are not there, you can't do a yajna. Yajamana, Patni, Daivavit, Manushyavit. Okay. Here when we say Putraha, it means Putra or Putri, but children. Children. That's what it means actually. Okay. Yajamana, Patni. So without Patni, you can't do certain yajnas. No, not allowed. Correct? See, when we are understanding it, see it in the right perspective. As a Vidhva did not have certain things which were eligible for her to do, a Vidura, the male widow or a widower, had certain things they could not do. Without Patni, you cannot do. Okay. So, Yajamana, Patni, Putraha, then Daivavit, knowledge of the Shastra, and Manushyavit, material. You need to have all the 5 to do a Agnikarya. Tell me, does a Brahmachari have that? Does a Vanaprastha have it? He can have. What he will not have? I can't hear. Unmute and speak.
Putra won't be there.
Putra is there now. Why? How come? Vanaprastha.
Sir, if he,
Putra is there. Why not?
sir, if he goes to Vanaprastha.
So what? Putra is there na? Hare? How can you cut the relation because he has gone to Vanaprastha?
Sir, material for
No,
Vajidna
material.
Manushya is not there.
Manushya with is not.
Manushya
Manusha.
Because he has already left that, right? And gone. So he doesn't have material support. Daivavit will be there. He will have the knowledge. He will have wife. He will have children. All that will be there. Okay. So he is also not enforced to do certain yajnas. That means in the Grihastha time only 21 yajnas you have to finish, huh? In the Grihastha period, मतलब 20-21 साल में वो भी खत्म करना है. You enter Grihastha ashram around 18 and imagine if you are out by 60, उसका अंदर ये सब खत्म करना है. उसका बीच में शादी, बच्चे, सब all that. और बच्चे एक दो किधर रहते थे, डजन में रहते थे. No WhatsApp, no TV.
Sir, what is the Pak Yajna, Havi Yajna, and what are the other 7 yajnas?
Yeah, there are Paka Yajnas, Havir Yajna and the Soma Yajnas are there. If you want as a learning, you can go, there are books into it. There are a lot of written on this. That is not a problem. But I am saying that we need, see how it helped. How did that infrastructure help? That's all is the idea. So to give you an overview is what we are talking about this. Right? Now, go to a sannyasi.
So does people follow these
So one
21
question.
yajnas nowadays?
There are people. And people who have completed Somayaga are called Somayaji. See this title Somayaji. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Vajpayee is a title. Vajpayee, who has done Vajpayee Yajna, is called a Vajpayee. Okay. So they are all titles. Shastri is a title. It doesn't come from father to son. Huh? No. It is a title. Like for example, if you have been given the Bachelor of Engineering degree, your son is in architecture, will you be able to give that same degree to him? No. Exactly. If you have done Vajpayee Yajna, you are Vajpayee. Your son would not have done, so he is not a Vajpayee. Just get the charger. Please get the charger. Okay, so all these were titles. So Somayaji was a title. Then you had Atiratra Yajna. There are many yajnas which are supposed to be done at least once in your lifetime. Huh? At least once. Okay, Agnishtoma, Vajpayee, Atiratra. Give it. Okay, just 1 minute. Leave it.
So these yajnas are different from sometimes people do during their pujas and all homes.
I will tell you. See, when you talk of a Homa is a basic fire ritual. Okay. Anything when you do with a fire ritual is called a Homa. But when you talk of a Yajna, in Yajna, some of the Yajnas can be even for a year. 1 year, every day the ritual will be there, full for 1 year. Okay. For which some Yajnas can be done at home, some cannot be done at home. You will have to put a mandap. Then the way the altar is made, you know what is an altar?
Sacrifice.
No, not sacrifice. The yajna kunda.
No.
Okay, the way it is made is different. For each of them, shapes are different. Atiratra yajna, if you do it, the shape of that kunda has to be like that of a eagle. Okay, then there are pre and post, many things to it. And in every yajna, danam will be there. 100% danam will have to be there. Okay, when it is done inside the place where the yajna is happening, that dana is called different. When it is done outside, you give something to someone, it is called different. So once you get into this, it is very, 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 very detailed. Then you will ask, what is the meaning of all this? Yeah, if you want to know the meaning, then you have to go into it and learn why it is what it is. But they are all SOPs, they are protocols. Like for example, when you want the Rashtrapati to come and there salami dena hai by the 3 defense, the army, navy and air force, how many protocols are there? Why such protocol? Why shout like this only? Why thump your leg like this only? If you ask, you have to go and ask them, you have to follow that, then you will know what is the detail. But as a civilian, we will not understand it. Same way, all these questions, answers are there, for which you have to get into it and then go logically. You have to understand one by one and then you will be able to appreciate it. But it is too much in detail and the relevance of it today has completely got lost. Even today, this Adhiratra Yajna and all is done. Every year or once in 3 or 4 years it is done. It is done in Kerala. It has been, people have done it in Karnataka. If you simply go to the net and put Adhiratra Yajna, you will be able to see it. Okay. There are many small rituals in it. And after all this Yajna, one important thing is called Avabhrita Snana. Avabhrita Snana is, that is why most of the time this Yajna is done near the water. There has to be a source of water nearby. Normally a lake or a river, near that only Yajnas are done. You create a small temporary shed, do the Yajna, people will come in and around villages, jahan se log aayenge, pandit log aayenge, there will be a lot. And as I had mentioned, every Yajna will have all the 4 experts in all the 4. Hota, Advaryu, Udgata and Brahma. A Rigveda expert will be there, a team of 4. A Yajurveda team of 4. A Samaveda team of 4. A Atharva Veda team of 4. And they all had their own jobs. All had a lot of jobs. That means it was filled with karma, action oriented. Pura rajoguna बढ़ जाएगा इतना. ये करो, वो करो. उसमें there will be your what do you call people who are going to auditors. There are people who are called Brahma who will keep checking whether everything is happening properly by everyone. Because there are chances that some slips can happen or errors can happen. Immediately that person will stop it. He'll say stop. हाँ भाई क्या हुआ? इधर ये error हुआ, उसका ये प्रायश्चित्त करो. तुरंत उधर ही प्रायश्चित करना पड़ेगा. Sometimes this yajna will get stalled because certain prayashchittas have to be done there and then itself, because without that you can't continue ahead. Okay. And these prayashchittas can also be very tough based on the level of the error which has happened. If there is an error which is deliberately happened, it's not an error, I have deliberately done with a wrong attitude, it will also mean that the person who has done it will have to give all his property as dhanam at that moment. And then only can continue. He has to relinquish all the property there itself. Please understand. So there were many, the stakes were very clear to make your mind pure. Nothing else. The objective was to make your mind pure. Yes, Vishal, you had a question.
Sir, even in Shraddha Karma, this is followed, sir, all these 4 Brahmana.
No. Shraddha Karma, that is why Shraddha is a Homa. Shraddha is not a Yajna.
Okay.
Shraddha
But
is
sir,
a Homa.
in some rituals, they call some 4 Brahmans and do that particular.
Shraddha is not that. Because you see 4 people, don't connect it to be this. Okay, Shraddha is not there. Shraddha, it is Vishvedeva, Pitrapitamaha, Prapitamaha. There, again you may have 4, but they are designated differently. Okay, and very clearly when Shraddha comes, it is to your Kula, your Gotra, your lineage. Correct? And you would be belonging to one Veda only. So there is no scope of someone else coming there. The other Veda people, there is no scope of they coming. Do we understand? Okay? Yeah. So
one question. So Guna Brahmana has to perform as Swadharma, teach, learn, yajna, everything. So this has to be followed in Grihastha Ashrama.
No. Brahmacharya Ashrama learning.
No.
Correct? Grihastha Ashrama,
Teaching.
Grihastha teaching, danam, pratigrahanam, yajanam, yajanam.
In Grihastha
Yes,
all
this.
these one Brahmana has to follow.
Yes, all this. That means he will do all the yajnas which I told 21. That is yajanam. He will help out others to do it, yajanam. As I said, now you need these Brahmans. So like that he will go there, he will be a Brahman, a Ritvik. There is a difference between Ritvik, there is a difference between Acharya, there is a difference between Upadhyaya. You know, Upadhyaya is a person who is ready to teach you something when you give money to him for his life. Suppose you tell a person that you please teach me this Vidya, you have it. I am ready to give you 5,000 rupees and he teaches you. Then he is called a Upadhyaya. A Ritvik is a person who knows everything but comes as a Brahmana during a particular function. You invite him to be a particular Brahmana to do a particular job. He is called a Ritvik. Acharya is a person who is going to oversee every Ritvik that they are doing the right job and who is going to give the Yajamana the instructions. So every person had a role.
Acharya is not in Grihastha Ashrama.
Acharya is in Grihastha Ashrama. Why not? Why is this confusion? I didn't get this confusion. Why not?
No, so if as a Guna Brahmana, one has to perform yajna ritual for others, even a Grihastha Guna Brahmana can do it.
Of course. When the moment you say Grihastha Guna Brahmana, you are okay. Let me qualify it. A Grihastha, not just Guna, you should have also learnt it. Just by saying I am Guna Brahmana and I am ignorant about the Shastra and because I have got a Guna, then that is not Brahmana at all. That is fooling yourself. If you are a Grihastha, if you have that Guna, you would have already learnt it and you would have become an expert in it and then you can become an Acharya. Why not? In Grihastha Ashrama, 100%. You will teach, you will also be performing for someone. Both will happen.
Okay. Fine.
Correct?
Sir, and one more question. When we started with this ashrama and varnashrama, we specified this is for boys, like starting from 8, 7 and then everything. So what was the flow for a girl?
Okay, yeah. Okay. See, very clearly whenever you see a Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, let us take these three because these three had specific jobs in the society. All these jobs were very clearly requiring to leave the house, go out, do it, come back. Correct? A Brahmana had to go out to study, then he has to go out for doing the karma, come back home. A Kshatriya has to go, security related. A Vaishya had to again go out, do things and come. So from that perspective, even a Shudra, if he has to support and help the other three, he has to also go out. So the rule of every land earlier were, there are certain work which can be done by male and there are certain work which can be done by female. And it was not exclusive only to our culture, it was very true even for Western culture, and everywhere if you go, the earlier historic period, the male members used to go out, the female members used to manage in. And normally if you see, the male members were absolutely pathetic and a big failure if they were given to manage in, and their job was go out. Leave our area to us to manage. Learning about any of these things were not stopped even for girls. The formal learning, even though it was not given, suppose if they were able to view or see or hear, being in the vicinity, they used to learn it. Because learning cannot be stopped. That is the first thing. Learning does not mean practicing it. There are people who have learned not by the formal way, but there are people who have learned not by the formal way, and that's how they have become very well versed with it. But they will not go out to practice it or do any karma out of that. It was purely from knowledge perspective. That was very much allowed. Correct? Which means a Brahmavadini, when you call someone as a Brahmavadini who is an expert in Atma Vidya, including Atma Vidya, that lady will not be done, the Upanayana Samskara and all will not be there. Then how did she learn? She learned the whole thing because of her liking and interest from either father, brother, husband, whoever. Okay, indirectly they were allowed to learn, but not along with everyone, like chalo bhai sab school chalo, no. Then what were they learning actually formally? They were learning the system within the house. That kulachara, the kula dharma, is something which actually moved through the ladies across family. Correct? That is why whenever you see, I mean, it's a very common thing after marriage, when you come to in-laws place, what is said? नहीं हमारा घर का ये रीत रिवाज है. So who protects that and takes it ahead? The lady of the house. Because over a period of time, mother-in-law or whoever it is, sister-in-law, or they would not be there, then you are supposed to take care, then you will pass it on to the next person. So you had this particular job to manage this internal part, which is a very, very internal, I would say, it is not a secretive one, but it is a well protected one, I am saying. It is a well protected which comes across, right? Now, they also had to change and align it after marriage. Secondly, a very prevalent thing which was there, we have to understand is, a girl had to get married before Ritu Kala. This was the way earlier. But these things have a lot of questions, because when you read texts like Manusmriti, there are contradictory information. On one hand, certain shlokas tell very clearly that before this age the marriage should happen, and there are also statements saying that suppose after this age if the marriage has happened, then this has to be done. That means when something like a Manusmriti was written, there were certain socially prevalent systems which were working. Predominantly, the girls used to be married before their Ritukala, and the boys had to be married immediately after their education. So now do a calculation. If this boy at the age of 7 goes to a Gurukula and takes about 12 years, that means he is 19-20 years old, and that's the time he has to get married. Correct? And the girl would be 10 years, 12 years, below 13 typically. Correct? This age difference of minimum 8 to 10 years was very prevalent, and we used to also see this during our grandmother's time or great grandmother's time, that normally itna age difference mein shaadi hote the. And that is why you will also see that when the next generation comes, the gap between the last child of the previous generation and the first child of the next generation was very less. 1-1.5 साल में the next generation starts, क्योंकि इधर 8-10 बच्चे लोग होने तक the first child has already become big, and उसका बच्चे लोग आने को लगा तो हाँ तभी इधर full stop होता था. Correct? And this was how the system was, right? So now look at it. This girl up to the age of 10, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है, घर का तौर तरीके ये समझ रहे हैं, then is getting married. Correct? and immediately then sent, probably at the right age, 15, 16, may sent to the boys' place. Now, after that, only one objective, year on year, production chalu hai. This is a system it used to be. In that, they used to learn how the house works and take care of the children. Where is the time to learn? I'm saying, where is the time to learn? Only when you give the time period of 20-25 years for the girl child, she has some time to learn. That time period itself was not there. Correct? And the boy also was very clearly, by the time the education is over, get married, so that all the, see, please look at it, natural instincts and desires were entwined properly so that it becomes dharmic. Only when you leave that indisciplinedness goes, then why don't you provide the right way for people to go ahead? Value what are the natural things and take it that way so that they will not mistake it. Correct? Now in such a situation, from where could this girl learn? And obviously from her husband only. And it had to be, it was very clear that husband's duty was to teach the wife. That is one of the, in Saptapati, that is one of the vows he takes. That you are my equal and I will teach you whatever I know. I will teach you. Why? Then only she can also get liberation. See, without jnanam, how will she get liberation? So that was not stopped for anyone. Karma kanda was stopped. Then what was karma for her? Doing swadharma by the household work with Ishwara Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Bhavana, Chitta Shuddhi will happen. Very much can become a jnani. Very much can become a jnani. Okay, so the path of jnanam was not stopped for anyone. That had only one eligibility, Chitta Shuddhi. But the karma path had very clearly the restrictions. Why? Because only then there was preservation of the Vedic heritage. The preservation of the Vedic heritage could have happened only by this way. Because not all used to go and learn. Huh? Please understand, don't imagine that everyone knew everything. No way. There were very few people who knew the whole part of the Vedas. There were some people who knew some part of the Vedas, but they were doing other professions because their Swadharma were Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. They used to learn the other, see, administration, warfare, all this at economics, all this had also to be learned. Ayurveda, so many Shastras were there. We had so many Shastras and all had the freedom to learn whatever you want. Right? Apart from this, these ladies were very clearly given for y'all do seva of Rishi Munis if they come. Knowledgeable people when they come, give them food. They will teach you a lot of things. Okay, whenever a jnani or a Mahatma comes, immediately go do seva. They were allowed to do it. And then by that they will get a lot of knowledge. So there was informal way to learn a lot. Otherwise, tell me, will this, for this 6,000-7,000 years, will this culture exist? Are we saying that because someone is talking of women's lip today, you mean to say earlier no one were talking on being a rebellion? No, na. If you can be a rebellion today, there were thousands of rebellion who have already been and passed. We are not even 1/100th of a Rani Lakshmibai today. So there was a Rani Lakshmibai also, right? So how did these rebellious people get satisfied of their inner quest to learn? How can you deprive them? No. So they were not deprived. They were clearly not deprived. They were valued, they were taught, and that is why when you look at it, that per day's time frame work was very, very nice. Morning you had to do few things. Then teaching job used to be there. Then few things. Then learning and Shastra Vichara. There used to be Shastra Vichara at home, talks. Different people used to come. All this, 2 people were learning. You know who? The ladies and the Shudras. There are certain statements in Bhagavad Gita, if I tell you, you will say, oh my God, what a bias you have. It talks, Striyo Vaishyas Tatha Shudra, it comes. Striya, Vaishya and Shudra, not eligible, clear. Bhagavad Gita writes it, we underplay such statements. Why? We don't want to create a problem and create a turmoil in students. Once you mature out and see that why it was done that way, because when they do the Swadharma, the next Janma will be a male. When you do the Swadharma as a lady, the next Janma will be a male. Because everyone have to believe multiple Janmas, right? It is like saying that one day, yaar, today is not my day. Main kuch bhi karunga to yaar, it's all getting gadbad. Then what do? Let the day go. Tomorrow everything will be okay. Don't you do that? Like that, and this Janma for some reason, even though I want to do many things, I am not allowed. Okay, let me do what I am allowed to do the best. Tomorrow will be a good day. And it used to go ahead. In that there were rebellions. There were rebellions, 100% there were rebellions. Many of their names are also not known. So society would have deprived them. बहुत सारा चीज हुआ रहेगा, we don't know. But from a scheme, understand that balance of external and internal had to be there, and hence one had to be strong in, one had to be strong out, and that's how the balance will be there. Don't we agree today, one of the biggest reason for this, a unit called a family disintegrating, is extreme pressure of performance for both the people in the family when you have to manage in the house and outside the house. Think, was that depriving or is this abusing? It's a time we take a step back and think really, are we all superhuman beings? And every day, no break. Tell me which day the lady of the house has got a break for cooking? No break. Correct? Same way outside, work. So it is like foolishly exhausting all the energies for what? Something what we call as having a very quality life. With what? Money. So I earn R&D, continuously working, and in that what have happened? I have lost my health, I have lost my mental peace, and then after that it's gone. When I come to the age of 60, 65, when I don't have health, what is the use of wealth? Give the doctor. And don't have mental peace. It doesn't make sense, right? Rather than that, if we calm that mind when we are young itself, then that energies can be used for much more productive things. Okay? Yeah. What message was there? Hopefully I have answered yours, because there is no very specific answer to
Yes,
all
sir.
this. Yeah. We have to understand what that situation was there. Whether we may like it or not like, I have no idea. But that was the situation there, we can't change it. Okay, it could have been better, we don't know. Try it out, and as many people are trying out all the new ways, you see only over a period of time the repercussions of that coming. At the start, everything looks good, correct? But later on, when the repercussion starts, simple. If you say that, no, I am stuck to this Vedanta class every day every Saturday between 9:30 and 11, and some emergency comes in your house, you'll say, no, Vedanta class. Family will say, go, you and your Vedanta class, forget it. Exactly, you shouldn't get stuck. The class is not for you to get stuck. If it is not going to give a maturity that I can drop this Vedanta class today, which is perfectly okay, even if I want, I can hear it later, I can see it in YouTube later, but today I need to right now go to with my family and be there. That is knowledge. That is wisdom. Right? Okay. Doesn't it mean that ladies
Thank
can't
you,
get
sir.
liberation? At least in present birth. I never mentioned that. I never mentioned that. First thing required is to read the lines, hear the lines, and not read in between the lines. Very, very important. I never mentioned that ladies cannot get liberation in the present birth. No. If you feel that only by learning the Vedas you will get liberation from that knowledge, then you need to be born as a male member, as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, to have the eligibility of Upanayana and then learn Vedas. Point number 2, again don't mistake, learning Vedas does not mean liberation. And that is why hundreds of places it has told, na vede, na yajnai, na danai. Then what? It helps me to understand myself better. The Shastras help me to understand. A proper way of learning comes there. If there is no proper way of learning, then can I not get? No. If you have an improper way of learning also, still you can get it. Why? Suppose you have eaten the 6 vadas and come for the 7th vada here. You don't need, already the proper way of learning is over. The other way around, did Mirabai get moksha? We'll say we don't know. It can be that she has acquired Chitta Shuddhi after 6 vadas come here now, after Jnanam for moksha, possible. Or it can be that by this Janma she will get absolute Chitta Shuddhi, that she will go straight to Brahmaloka, and from there Brahmaji will teach and she will get moksha. We do not know. But at no point of time we can say that ladies cannot get moksha. Absolutely not. Here and now, if that was true, these classes were waste of time for all the ladies, right? Absolutely wrong. Anyone and everyone can get liberation if they decide to do so, if they go and learn. What is required is knowledge. How to acquire the knowledge? They have their own ways to know it. Simple. From the Vedic route, by the formal traditional learning, that knowledge directly is not available, but can be available through husband, through father, through brothers, through rishis, through some satpurushas, sadhus, whoever come, can be available. Enough. That much is enough. It is much better to say Rama Rama and cook, rather than learning hundreds of the Vedas and challenging our own mind without Shraddha. Think about it. In absolute sense, actually that makes sense, right?
So that means ladies can get liberation by staying at home.
Very much.
Staying home.
Who said no? Who said no? See, these are all superimpositions which we have put. These are myths of liberation. I think we need to make points like myths of yoga. Same way, myths of liberation. Men are only entitled to get liberation. Men who have learned the Vedas only can get liberation. If you do not know Vedas, you cannot get liberation. ladies 100% will not get liberation. These are all myths. Wrong. What is required for liberation is knowledge, the right knowledge. From where you get it, how you get it, it is your prarabdha, your effort. Who can stop it? Even God cannot stop it. That is why He has destined you for that, right? And why do we see, next question is, why do we see and evaluate someone else whether that person has got moksha or not? Who are we? Can we even evaluate that someone else has got already moksha? I am asking a basic question. Can you look at me and feel that I have got moksha or I have not got moksha? Or for that matter, Swami Paramarthananda, who is alive now, he is mukta or he is baddha? Isn't it absolutely stupid for an outsider to even think about it? Because baddha and mukta is one's own feeling about oneself and nothing to do with what others say. A completely ignorant person, if he feels that I am just one in this whole universe and I have no individuality of myself, you are already mukta over. You don't need a jnanam or anything. Nothing is required. Right? So, first is we have to understand and correct our definition of what is jnanam. Don't confuse a structure. It is like saying that all IITians and all MBAs will be always happy in life. Isn't it a stupid statement? That means if you have not gone to IIT and MBA, that means you will never be happy in life. That is the biggest stupidity. Correct? It is saying something like, so don't superimpose it. The chances, what is the logic? If you have studied well, if you are in a good post, you will get a lot of money. And if we assume that that money can give me comforts, and because of comforts I will be happy, that correlation is, the chances are you will be happy in life. Right? So if the premise is wrong, none of this has any meaning. None of this has meaning, right? So don't misquote. Don't misquote at all, because then that is wrong learning. We may not learn, that is okay, but let us not wrongly learn. Because now we are labeling ourselves. मुझे कुछ होने वाला नहीं है, इसको ही होने वाला. This is very wrong. No. We cannot. Correct? The chances of getting the right knowledge the right way is through the Vedas, and hence if you are a Guna Brahmana, if you are a Jati Brahmana, if you are lucky to get a good guru, and if you have learnt it, and then you understand that what is the use of karma, how to leave it easily, and then you get Chitta Shuddhi. From there, if you get a good guru, and then you get Jnanam, and then you do Shravana Manana Nididhyasana and get Jnana Nishta, and then you get Moksha, then all these are true. Do you understand? Just because I have got one Upanayana, a license, does not guarantee moksha at all. One of the very wrong things. Otherwise, all the Pandits, so-called Bhajis, would have been Mukta Purusha today. Is that true? Then where did that Shastra Jnana help? So it didn't help. We understand. How many people of us who have completed engineering are using engineering knowledge in Swadharma? Nothing. That WhatsApp, I remember, very nice graph. 8th standard, how much I learned in maths. Then 10th standard, then comes differentiation, then integration, triple integration, everything, and finally, come out of it. And today, what is it? I am an executive. What am I doing? Excel sheet. I am back to Excel sheet. What am I using? Excel sheet. That too, I do not know. If someone asks me 15 plus 23, 1 minute, wait. I have only 10 fingers. That is my level of mathematics. Now you tell me that triple integration, did it help me? if I have to finally only end up doing Excel sheet? Are you able to get that? And that's exactly we are saying that just by learning the Vedas, there is no correlation to moksha. Correct? But learning the Vedas can help you to, if you are interested in that path, make you clarify with more information the right knowledge. The probability is higher, but it is not a must. Okay, it is 11:20. I think you all need moksha. Correct? I will remove from the bandha, make you all mukta. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Okay, with this background, I think next time we will get into the actual scripture of Vedo Nityamadiyatam and continue ahead, right? Because we have completed Varna, Ashrama, Karma, all those things are basic in detail. What was that? Basically, I wanted to tell you all more on Ashrama and more on what is that Vaidika Karmas. Once that is clear, we can go ahead with the actual text, right? Secondly, we will not have Upanishad Ganga tomorrow. Okay. These 2 Sundays of Navratri, because we are going to start at 6 o'clock. Let us not have Upanishad Ganga. I don't want to prepone that and change everyone. There is no harm. After 2 Sundays, we can continue. We have so many Sundays left for us. Correct? So we can continue Upanishad Ganga aramse. So, Chutti, Navratri Chutti for Upanishad Ganga, but connect at 6 o'clock so that we can complete Vishnu Sahasranama and Lalita Sahasranama. And I will also forward you all the link and the YouTube for Swami Omkarananda's puja, which is going to have it every day from today evening 7 o'clock to 9:30. He will also talk. His speech will be, his Anugraha Bhashya will be there in Tamil. Maybe many may not understand it, doesn't matter. But once the puja starts, you will start liking it and enjoying it, because it will have Lalita Sahasranama in it, it will have Lalita Trishati in it, it will have Lalita Ashtotra in it, it will have Shamala Dandaka in it, it will have Durga Sukta, Bhagya Sukta, Lakshmi, many things put together in a nicely formed and very decorative and very nice. So, कुछ नहीं तो चलो टीवी वो ये देखने से अच्छा ये टीवी में चालू करके you can continue doing your work also. एक आँख उधर रहेगा, बीच में अच्छा लगा, चलो एक नमस्कार कर दिया, चलो काम कंटिन्यू करो. You don't have to sit and do a puja or anything, but at a background it can be on. Children will be happy looking at it instead of seeing something else. बीच में आरती का टाइम में आया, काम छोड़ के एक नमस्कार किया. Slowly we can indirectly get connected to it as and when we want. Suppose there is something more interesting, you can also switch it off. Up to you. ठीक है? चलो. Okay. So with this evening, whoever are there, we will meet at about 6 o'clock today. We will have the Vishnu Sahasranama followed by the Heap program, which will be Lalita Sahasranama and Narayaniyam. Okay? Ciao. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.